Change is a constant and can be messy sometimes, can it? Ease the transitions for your employees by communicating openly and honestly and encouraging their questions, commitment, and their help. It's also helpful to try to see the change from everyone else's perspective. You might have heard me say it on past CPS programs. If you see the world through your customer's eyes, you'll see the way your customer buys. Well, I'm not here for sales training, but if you do see the world through your team's eyes, you'll see the way they buy into change. But you also need to know your teammates better than you have before. Here's a great graph that illustrates how change affects different people. I like to say that for some people, it's not the change they're afraid of, it's the speed at which they're being asked to change that scares them. So you can see that at the left, we have endings and reconciliation. Every change involves losing something, an ending, and then a reconciliation with the new way of doing things. You can see the person in the top left asking questions like, what's going on? And this can't apply to me, can it? Total denial. As we move down through the anxiety and shock, we start to find reconciliation in fear, anger, and frustration. The person telling themselves that this is garbage and it's just not fair. Then there are those who are in the middle, in exploration and reorientation. This is where they know the change is inevitable and even begin to examine the pros and cons. You might find confusion, stress, or even approach avoidance at this juncture. See the person who's saying, I'm still skeptical but willing to know more and begin trying? Finally, we get into the right side of the graph, or new beginnings and recommitment. In the latter, we find creativity, skepticism, and then acceptance. This is where people start to gel as a team around the new change and may bring the people from the left, or at least in the middle, into the fold. And at the top right, you have new beginnings, where impatience, hope, energy, and enthusiasm for the change lie. This might be where you hear, okay, let's get on with this already. Just by looking at this graph, it should be clear that everyone is different in how they accept or even just handle change. I happen to know that I love change. I know this is a sick mind. My wife hates it. So after 44 years of marriage, I'm getting good at presenting change to her in a way that she needs to be presented to, not a way in which I would normally present it. Let me say that again. Present change to an individual in a way in which they need to be presented to. The only way you can do this is by understanding your team better than you have before.